Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be my Best in Beauty Part 2 for face products. And today we're going to be talking about primers, foundations, concealers, and setting powders. So let's just jump into primers first. I did film lips a couple of days ago, and that is going to be the last installment, but now I'm filming my last Best in Beauty video today because I filmed lip products first because I thought that I was going to be working yesterday and today, but I ended up being cut from work today and yesterday, so I'm only working tomorrow and Monday, so I had a lot more time to film all my Best in Beauty videos because I've been off for the past 4 days. So anyway, let's just talk about primers real quick. I'm only going to be talking about 3 primers, and they're all from the drugstore. I fell in love with these this year. This one's almost empty. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Face Primer for dry skin. I actually really love this guy. It feels really nice on the skin. I really like the scent of it. It has like this almond-y kind of scent. And it just makes my makeup look so beautiful when I put it on, and I feel like it's so smoothing, and I just really did enjoy this year, and this was probably my most used primer. I would use this religiously like every day for like a week because I really did like this a lot. So this is a really good option from the drugstore. And then another one is the Maybelline Master Prime by Face Studio blurring primer base, and this one is also really nice as well. It really does do a great job of blurring your skin. It's really smoothing. Again, I feel like these are very similar, like these white base creamy kind of moisturizer formulas, but I find that these are kind of my favorite kind of primers because they're just so moisturizing for my dry skin. And this one I also really loved as well. So, and I was using this one religiously every day for a while too. So this is a really good one too. And then the last one I'm going to mention, I love the Wet n Wild one too, but I didn't really use that one throughout the year. I did go through a whole bottle, and it's good, but I don't think it's as good as these two. I find that I like these two more. And then the last one is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Light Infusing Primer. This one makes your skin look so gorgeous. It just has this beautiful luminosity to it, and it makes your skin look glowy and moisturized, and it makes your skin look glowy without making it look greasy, which I don't know how they did that with this, but it just makes your skin look dewy and beautiful and healthy when you put it on, and your foundation just looks amazing over it. I loved wearing it with the True Match Lumi foundation, which I did use up this year. I might purchase it at some point, but I did just purchase the the L'Oreal Lumi Magic Cushion Foundation. So that was kind of my replacement for the True Match Lumi, but this one is still a great one, and it's just so beautiful on the skin. It's very unique, and I love it. I got this on a whim this past year, and I fell in love with it. This was actually, excuse me, this was, I'm just looking at the concealer I applied today. I don't love it as much as my Tarte one that I've been wearing every day since I repurchased it. I think I put it on too early, and I should have put it on after. I didn't realize that the concealer was going to be so fast drying, so I think that's why it creased on me a little bit. So, but yeah, I've been really enjoying this. Love that guy. So that's it for face primers. Now let's jump into foundation. So I guess we're going to talk about... Should we talk about affordable ones first? I guess. Okay, so my favorite affordable foundation this year, hands down, 100%, is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. This was definitely probably my most used foundation this year besides the Lancome and the, what's the other one that I love? The Burberry. And I mean, we might as well get into those after I talk about this, but this is definitely my favorite like lightweight foundation this year besides the number 7 foundation, which I used up earlier in the year. I love that guy, but I wanted to talk about this one. The number 7 I talked about last year in my favorites. This one definitely has like a similar feel to it. It's just so lightweight, but it gives you this beautiful coverage, and I know a lot of people have been talking about this, but it really is a stellar foundation. I never say that word. I'm in the shade LC1, and I just love the way that it looks on the skin. It blends out beautifully, And it has like this really cool like doe foot applicator, and you kind of just swipe it on your skin and then you blend it in. I love using it with a beauty blender. And it's just one of my favorite foundations, and I don't think I'm going to have any trouble using up my first bottle. So I love this. It's amazing. Really, really, really beautiful foundation. And then one of my other favorite drugstore foundations this year is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation. I don't know if I talked about this last year, but I definitely used it a lot this year. And it really is a beautiful covering foundation. Like, this covers your skin so well, and it feels so nice on the skin, and it just makes your skin look flawless. It's definitely a beautiful foundation. This is my only CoverGirl foundation, but I kind of want to try a couple of other ones this year, like maybe the which one is it? The Healthy Elixir foundation, because Kathleen Lights just talked about her favorite. What is talking about? What is going on with what is talking about? What is going on with my lips right now? That's better. That was weird. It was like bleeding a little bit. So I'm just waiting for my boyfriend to text me. I'm gonna try and be out of the house early this year today, because yesterday I didn't get out of the house till like 4, so I'm hoping to get out of the house within the next like 40 minutes, and this video won't take me too long to film. But yeah, this is a beautiful full coverage foundation. It looks beautiful on the skin. Really good foundation. The only thing that I would say that I don't love about this foundation is the scent of it. But other than that, it is a very long wearing foundation and it looks beautiful. So I highly recommend this. And since CoverGirl is now cruelty free, I definitely want to pick up more products from them. So I really want to try that foundation and probably repurchase my primer as well. So I'm excited to pick out some more CoverGirl products. And then my other favorite affordable option would be, I have like all my foundations like right next to me. I mean, my favorite, oh, you know what? Let's talk about this one first. Sorry, I'm like a mess, but I'm trying to dig through my foundation. My other favorite this year was the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 17 in the shade Warm Porcelain W1. For some reason, the words were being read, but they weren't being transferred to my mouth while I was reading it. So this is beautiful as well. Such beautiful coverage. Like, these two I like more than some full coverage foundations that I tried that were high-end. These are both amazing foundations. I love these so much more than like the Wet n Wild foundation, the NARS foundation. I'm not even too crazy about the NARS one. This one is so good. It's just so, again, it's so flawless on the skin, and it just covers your skin so beautifully. And this one is so long wearing as well. If I'm going to the city, or if I know I'm wearing my foundation all day, I will reach for this one and the MAC one and the Lancome. Those are like my 3 most long-lasting foundations. And this one is so good. It just makes your skin look so beautiful and flawless, and it's a little bit more lightweight than the CoverGirl. It's just so good. I'm never disappointed with this foundation. It always looks amazing. So that one is amazing as well. That one I got turned on to because of Nicole Guerrero. She would always say that that was her all-time favorite foundation, and it really is amazing. And the CoverGirl Outlast I got turned on to from Andrea Mattiliano. She just recently repurchased it because she went cruelty-free like a year ago, and CoverGirl wasn't cruelty-free then, and now they are. So she just repurchased like the repackaged one, so I want to see if she still likes it, but it's still a solid foundation. And then probably my other Holy Grail drugstore lightweight foundation would be the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. This one is always amazing and always looks amazing on the skin. And I forgot that I want to talk about one more if I can find it before we talk about ColourPop, of course. But this one is always just, it's a super liquidy formula, a lot more liquidy than the other foundations that I'm talking about. But there's something about it that just makes it so dewy and beautiful on your skin and just makes your skin look healthy and awake. And it has beautiful coverage, like I would say medium coverage, and the rest, the CoverGirl and the L'Oreal, I would say would be full coverage, and the Physicians Formula would be like light to medium, and this one's the same. but it's like a beautiful medium coverage. It always has like your natural skin poking through. And again, the only thing that I don't love about this foundation is the scent. I'm not too crazy about the scent, but it is always a beautiful foundation, and I think this was in my favorites last year, but it was definitely one of my favorites this year because I did use up my first bottle of it this throughout this whole year, so I had to mention it again because if I use up a full bottle of a foundation, you obviously know that I love it. So this one is amazing as well. And then the last drugstore foundation is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation. I actually have been loving this foundation ever since I got it from TJ Maxx. I think that it's so lightweight and beautiful on the skin. I'm in the shade N1. And I just really love it. It feels really weightless on the skin, and this was my first go at a cushion foundation this year. I've never tried a cushion foundation, and I've always heard amazing things about the L'Oreal one. Everyone says that this is like the best cushion foundation out there, and this one really is amazing. It really feels weightless on the skin. It does take a little bit of working with to apply. Mostly what I do is I dip my beauty blender or my L'Oreal sponge, which I absolutely love. Oh, I love that sponge. I'm not going to be mentioning brushes or sponges this year. The L'Oreal Infallible sponge has been my absolute favorite sponge this year. It is so good. I'm about to go repurchase another one if I get out of the house soon. I've been meaning to repurchase one for a while, but I have to go out and repurchase one at some point. But I use that with this, and I dip it in, and I kind of let it sit for a little while, and then I pull it out, and then I apply it to my face, and I kind of just pat it in. And it's just so hydrating and feels really weightless on the skin. If you want something that's super lightweight and you don't want something to bother your skin too much and you don't really love like something that's full coverage, this is beautiful. So I really do love this. And I think they discontinued it. So you can find this at TJ Maxx or Marshalls for like $4.99 or $3.99 as opposed to like the $20 price tag that it was. Like, I think that's ridiculous for a drugstore foundation. Like L'Oreal and Maybelline and all those brands have really been getting up there with their prices. But this was definitely the most expensive drugstore foundation out there for a while. It was like almost $18. I'm like, why is it so expensive? So I thought for $3.99 it was more worth to pick up at TJ Maxx, and the price is right here. Yeah, definitely more worth picking it up for $4. So yeah, I'll take that. So that's it for drugstore. Then one more affordable option, and then we will jump into some of my favorite high-end foundations this year. I know this is a very unpopular opinion, and a lot of people love the concealer over the foundation, but this is the ColourPop No Filter Foundation in the color Fair 5, and I actually really liked this foundation. I don't know why so many people hated it. I actually think it covers really, really nicely, and it looks really good on the skin. I would compare this to the coverage of the Fenty Beauty, and I'm going to talk about the other full coverage option that I love a lot more in a second. I just could not wear the Fenty Beauty foundation. It was way too dry for my skin. It just made my skin look like a crepey, dry mess, honestly. I wore it a couple times, and I'm just like, this is not for me. It's too heavy for my skin. I know a lot of people with dry skin actually really love it, especially Stephanie Nicole, and she's the whole reason why I tried it. But I definitely think it's more for oily skin. My skin did not like it. So this one I would compare to kind of the Fenty Beauty foundation. It's not as heavy though, and this one feels a lot lighter on the skin. And I actually think it looks really nice. It doesn't last all day, but for the few hours that it lasts, I really like how it looks on my skin. I wear it like all the time when I'm working like a shorter shift at work, and I just think it's really nice. It's matte. It makes your skin look beautiful, and I think it's a really good foundation. So it can look dry at times, but overall the finish is really, really nice. So yeah, I really enjoyed this foundation this year. So that's it for affordable. Now let's go to, obviously you guys know I'm already going to be mentioning this foundation. This is just my absolute favorite foundation of all time, and I have to talk about it again. This was in my Best in Beauty last year, and I have to talk about it again this year because this was definitely my go-to favorite foundation this year, besides the Physicians Formula, and this is the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear 210 Buff N foundation. It's just the best foundation I've ever tried in my life. I love it so much. It just makes my skin look so beautiful. It just blends like a dream, and it makes your skin look flawless without being too heavy, and it lasts forever. If I'm going to the city and I need something to last all day, this is the foundation I always wear. Besides definitely in like the winter time or the springtime when it's not too hot, but even in the heat, this is still my go-to. I love it so much. Like, I've never loved a foundation more in my life. I loved the Dior Forever one as well, but I think I love this one just a little bit more because this one's much easier to blend. And also the Dior one would oxidize more, but the Dior one you would have to apply in sections. This one you don't have to do that. You can just put it all over your face and it won't dry down until you blend it out. I think that's why I repurchased this one over the other one, because this one is just so much easier to blend if I'm like in a rush, or if I just want something that I know that works, that I can just blend in like 3 seconds, and it really is amazing. I recommend this foundation to everyone. I told my sister about this foundation, and she said that she really didn't like how heavy the Bobbi Brown felt on stage, so she ended up picking up this one because I told her how beautiful it is, and she said it's amazing. I'm like, I know, it's beautiful. I love it. So yeah, Lancome really slayed the game for me this year, and I loved the Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara and the Lancome Highlighter, and this is no exception. It's just my favorite. It's so good. And that mascara and highlighter are like my holy grails as well. So this one is phenomenal. I love it so much. I can't rave about it enough. One of my other favorite high-end foundations this year, and I don't think you can get this foundation anymore. I got this foundation at Marshall, so I got it for like $15, and I thought that was a pretty good price for it, since normally it's about $50. So I thought $14 was a pretty good price. And this is the Burberry Soft Cashmere Long-Lasting Flawless Soft Matte Foundation in the shade Porcelain number 11. This is what the Fenty Beauty foundation claimed that it was soft matte, but it was like literally so matte on my skin. This one does not do that to my skin. This one just feels like cashmere on your skin. It's so silky smooth. And it has a matte finish, but it's more of like a demi-matte finish. It's not too matte for my skin. And it's such a beautiful foundation. I used this a ton this year. I love this foundation. It's so beautiful on the skin. It's not dewy whatsoever. It has this beautiful soft matte finish. And it's just stunning. I love this foundation. I'm going to be really upset when I use it up. I feel like I'm very close to using this up at some point. And it's just beautiful. This was definitely the star product that I used from Burberry this year, besides the liquid lipstick, but this one was definitely my most used. This is the first year that I really dove into Burberry makeup, because I got a lot of products from Marshalls. I got this, I got the lipstick, and I got the eyeshadow palette, but this was definitely the star of the show for me over the eyeshadow and the lipstick. I think the liquid lipstick was much better, but this is amazing. I love it so much. This is one of my favorite foundations this year. It's so good. I love foundation, you guys, if you could tell. And then there's no more in this. Oh, besides this one, I really wanted to mention this one this year because this one is really, really good. I think I picked this one up this year or last year. I don't know, but I'm going to mention it. This one is amazing for the summertime. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Foundation Waterproof Foundation. And this is really good. I really thought that this was going to be really matte on my skin, but it's still matte, and it's still not the most comfortable foundation, but it's comfortable enough for me to wear the entire day. And this one is definitely my favorite full coverage option for the year. It covers so well, and I love this even more than the Urban Decay All Nighter. I think this definitely took the top spot for me as being like my most full coverage foundation. When it comes to high end, the drugstore ones are still like probably my favorite ones over this one, but when it comes to high end, this was definitely my favorite full coverage option this year. It's really, really good. It's sweat proof. It lasts such a long time. It's flawless full coverage, and it really covers amazingly. So I really did love this year. This is really like my first MAC foundation I've ever tried. I know that's crazy, but like everybody would say that MAC foundations would break them out, so I've always stayed away from them. The BB cream was always my go-to, and that's what I would always use before I even discovered using foundations the past 5 years, because I've only been using foundation for 5 years now. I would never touch it before that. I would never even use it. I would just use the BB cream from MAC. That would be always my go-to, that would always be my go-to. But this is amazing. I really love this. So that's it for the stuff that's in this bin. Now we're going to move on to a couple of more. Not too many. I think we only have a couple more to talk about. Actually, yeah, 4 more, and that's it. Let me just put these back real quick. Okay, so for the rest of the foundations, I'm going to mention both of these from Giorgio Armani. I know this is nothing new. I'm going to go through this one really, really quickly, but my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, I have to mention it again because it's still one of my holy grail favorite foundations. I have it back in my collection, and the first time I used it was yesterday after like months of not having it, and I really still freaking love this foundation. It's just, there's something about this foundation that is just so beautiful, and I never get tired of using it. It always looks so silky, smooth, beautiful, luminous foundation. I love it so much. It is expensive, you guys, but if you want to pick it up from Sephora during the 20% off sale, I usually get it from Bloomingdale's, so I get it for pretty cheap. I get it for around $30 or $40 instead of $60, so I think that's pretty good. My mom gets the 20% off discount, or 2010 on cosmetics, because she works at Bloomingdale's, and then I used a store credit for this of like $40 for like a gift that I returned, so I didn't have to pay anything for it. So that's how I get it, so that's why I recommend it all the time. If you guys don't want to splurge on it, the True Match Lumi from L'Oreal is a pretty good dupe, but I don't think anything comes close to this guy. This is still my all-time favorite high-end foundation besides the Lancome. It's so silky smooth, and it's so freaking stunning on the skin. And then the other one that really impressed me this year, I didn't love this foundation when I first tried it, and now I really love it. It's really beautiful on the skin. This is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Longwear High Cover Foundation. This one my boyfriend got for me last year for Christmas, and I really did use it a lot this year. I think it does have that fabric-y kind of feeling on your skin, and it's matte, and it feels very soft and like velvety almost. It has like a velvet finish, and I love that about this foundation. And it looks really beautiful on the skin. It has really beautiful coverage. Again, it's matte without being too matte or too drying. It never looks too drying on the skin, so I really did fall in love with this one too. I think this one's really, really good. So I definitely love this one as well. Okay, this one goes in here. Why am I putting it in here? Then I could have sworn I had 2 more to talk about, but I guess there's only one. Where's the other one I wanted to talk about? Okay, I guess that's it. So the last one I wanted to talk about is this guy. I also picked this one up from Marshall's as well, and this is another high-end foundation, but I don't know if you can get this foundation anymore. I don't know if L'Oreal, if Lorac still sells it, but honestly, I fell in love with this foundation this year. This is the Lorac Natural Performance Foundation. This is really like the only Lorac product that I have besides the Pro Palette, and I never use that anymore. I mostly use the foundation, and this one's in the shade NP1. For the Power Fabric Foundation, I'm in the shade 2, along with the Luminous Silk. I love this shade. Is like the absolute perfect shade for me. It really does not oxidize on my skin, so I always go with the same shade in the Giorgio Armani. So this is a really beautiful foundation as well. Again, the scent is a little bit weird to me, but other than that, this is a really, really good foundation. It's really dewy on the skin. It's super smoothing. I would kind of compare it to the Luminous Silk Foundation. It's just a little bit more dewy on the skin, and it's really beautiful. It's really hydrating. It actually is very similar to the No. 7 foundation, which I absolutely love. That was definitely one of my holy grails this year as well, but since I used it up and I don't even know if you can get it anymore, I didn't really want to mention it again, but it's so amazing. But this is really creamy feeling and definitely has that similar number 7 feeling to it. And it kind of comes in the same packaging too. But this is really good. It has a really mousse-like creamy texture. Very dewy, very smooth on the skin, blends out beautifully. So yeah, I love this one too. This one's really, really good. I'm actually wearing the Becca Aqua Luminous foundation today, and it's good. It's not my favorite though, but I got it from Marshalls, so it's not too hard for me to use this. So yeah, that's it for foundations. Now let's move on to concealers. All right, so I don't think it's any surprise for me to talk about the concealers that I'm going to be talking about this year. I didn't really love too many concealers this year. I kind of changed my opinion about certain concealers. I think my favorite concealers this year were these 3 concealers. So the first one that I have to mention, if I can find the other shade, of course, is the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. This is definitely my favorite, probably my favorite concealer of all time now, besides like the other 4 concealers I'm going to talk about. But this one's definitely my most used, most loved concealer this entire year. It's full coverage, but it's still, it's not too drying, it's not too matte. It really is a stunning concealer. I don't know if it creases on me a little bit though, but I don't care. It just always looks amazing. It always blends out beautifully. It's so full coverage, but it's not drying. And that's the difference between this and the Tarte Shape Tape. The Tarte Shape Tape just, I can't get on this bandwagon. I just don't think it's that good, honestly. I think that this one from Tarte is a lot better that I'm going to talk about in a second. But this is amazing. I love it so much. I wear it with the No Filter foundation all the time, and I love this combo. But this concealer I know is going to look good with every single foundation in my collection. I tend to wear it with more of like the medium to full coverage foundations though, like the Maybelline Fit Me. I actually really liked this foundation this year too, the Flower Beauty Light Illusion, but I wouldn't say it was the best because I don't like how it looks on my skin after like a few hours. Like I have to take it off because it doesn't look like amazing after like a couple of hours. But yeah, this is definitely my most used go-to concealer this year, and it's so good. If I need something to wear for a few hours or all day, this is definitely my all-day option as well. It's just always amazing. So this concealer is hands down the best this year. And then this one I really loved this year as well. This is my second tube of it. This is the Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. And I didn't think I was going to love it as much to purchase another one, but I really love this as well. It's kind of similar to the ColourPop formula. The only thing that you might not like about this, oh yeah, my shade in the concealers for ColourPop are Fair 8 and I believe Fair 2. Yeah, Fair 2. The only thing you might not like about this is the scent. I'm in the shade Light Natural 005. The scent is not like the greatest on this. It has a very strong scent, but I love this concealer. It's so hydrating with also being very nice coverage, and I really, really love it. So I've been enjoying this one as well. I wear this a lot, again, with the Maybelline Fit Me. I say the Maybelline Fit Me because that's like the standard, like medium coverage foundation in my collection, and medium coverage is usually my favorite. And I wear this with like the Physicians Formula, with a L'Oreal. It's so good. I love this guy. You guys know my all-time favorite drugstore concealer is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and this is no exception. I absolutely love this concealer. This one has taken over my love for the Maybelline Fit Me. This one's definitely my favorite one by far. This one's the Dark Circle Eraser. The only thing that I don't like about this one is that this one can oxidize a lot if I wear it just by itself, if I don't wear foundation. So usually I have to wear foundation with it, but sometimes I just don't care and I just use it. It's just so amazing. It's so creamy. Like this is the creamiest concealer that I have because of the applicator, and the applicator is just amazing. You just swipe it under your eyes, you swipe it on your skin, and it's just so creamy. Like it blends out like a cushion, like almost like the Lumi Cushion foundation. It's just phenomenal. I love this, and this is my third one, and I'm halfway through this one. I will constantly repurchase this concealer. I love it to death. And then another concealer that I really loved this year, that isn't really a popular opinion, but honestly, I freaking love this concealer. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Light Ivory, and I love this over the foundation. A lot of people loved the foundation over the concealer. I loved the concealer, which is usually not my opinion. Usually I love the foundation a lot more than the concealer. Like if a brand comes out with a coinciding concealer, usually I still love the foundation more. But this was such a beautiful concealer. I really love it. It has a beautiful like medium coverage. It blends out really nicely. I really like this guy, so I love that too. And I loved a lot of drugstore concealers this year. This one also really impressed me. I loved this concealer more than the this CoverGirl one. I tried 2 CoverGirl concealers this year, and this Clean Invisible concealer, I really don't like this. I definitely loved this one a lot more. I find that I love concealers in these kind of tube-like containers, but the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Concealer, this one was being discontinued in this packaging as well. So this one I got for full price. Okay, so my boyfriend finally texted me. He probably just woke up now. But this one is really beautiful as well. I don't like swipe it underneath my eyes. Like I kind of just squeeze it onto my face, or I just use a concealer brush. And this one is really beautiful as well, has really beautiful coverage. I find that it's very creamy and very easy to blend, and this one doesn't really crease on me, so this one's really good as well. I really, really love this. And then, of course, my Maybelline Master Conceal by Face Studio, where is my Maybelline Fit Me? You know what? I constantly keep it in my purse, but that, of course, is one of my favorites as well, but I don't have to talk about it again. But Maybelline makes some really bomb-ass concealers. I end up falling in love with, like, every single Maybelline concealer. Well, speaking of the Fit Me, it's literally right in front of me. So this one is definitely one of my favorites still. This is, like, my most repurchased concealer. This one's in the shade Fair, and I just love it. This is, like, my 5th one. The reason why I go through this so quickly is because I usually throw it in my purse to use for touch-ups. Like if I wear red lipstick, I always have to bring a concealer with me, obviously. Like if I wear something that is a red lipstick that bleeds everywhere, or one that doesn't really stay on as well as other ones, I always bring this with me and throw this in my purse. And I'm in the shade Fair. But this one, the Liquid Camouflage in the shade 10 Fair, also amazing. It has beautiful coverage. It's kind of similar to the Outlast one. This one's definitely the most high coverage Maybelline one that I have, and this one's really, really good. I really, really like this one too. That one also doesn't really crease on me either. And I think we only have... We really only have 4 high-end concealers to talk about, and that's about it. And that's it for concealers. So the next one I wanted to mention is this guy. This is definitely my favorite high-end concealer by far. I just love this concealer so much, and I just repurchased this again a few weeks ago, and I'm obsessed with it again. I love it. So this is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Aqua Sealer in the shade Fair, and this is such a good concealer, you guys. It's so underrated. I feel like no one talks about it, but I fell in love with this concealer because of Young, Wild, and Polished. She used to talk about this concealer all the time, and now she uses the Becca. I'm thinking about Aqua and Becca at the same time, but also it's called Becca Aqua Luminous Concealer, I'm pretty sure. So that's why I said Becca. But I haven't tried that concealer in a long time. I did use up a full tube of it, but I thought it was overpriced, so I didn't repurchase it again. But this one is amazing. It's so hydrating. It blends out like a dream, and it just looks amazing every single time I use it. So, again, I'm not a huge Tarte supporter, but I love this concealer. It's so good. I love this. it's just my favorite concealer ever. Like, honestly, it's my favorite concealer besides the Maybelline Age Rewind and the ColourPop. It's like my top three. Then I have to mention this one, even though it's not like my all-time favorite. I did use it a ton this year. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Chantecaille. So I believe this is like my third tube of this concealer. The reason why I get this concealer so much is because my mom gets it from Bloomingdale's for me. And this is the only concealer that my mom and my sister uses. So I wanted to have it again in my collection to see if I still love it. I don't really love this concealer. It's good, but I do think it's too dry for me. And I do feel like it creases on me. And it's not like, I just feel like it's a very dry formula, but it's good. I like it. It works. But it's not like my favorite. But it's a good concealer. And this one I actually really loved. This one's you can find at Marshall's for like $4. I know, again, not a lot of people were a fan of Kat Von D this year, but this one, it was a amazing concealer. So this is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer and Corrector in the shade Light 16. I actually really love this. It might be a little bit dark for me, but I really love it. It blends out beautifully. It's very creamy. And a lot of people loved the original formula of the Lock-It Concealer before the new one. I did go through an entire tube of the newer one, and I actually really loved that one, but I think I like this one even more. I think Candy Johnson used to say that this was like her all-time favorite concealer, and this one is really, really good, so had to mention it. And then the last concealer I wanted to talk about, which is a really amazing full coverage option. I think this is my favorite full coverage concealer besides the ColourPop. Like, honestly, I don't really love full coverage concealers all that much, but I think that this one is so much better than the Tarte Shape Tape. It's just like I compare everything to the Tarte Shape Tape because I just don't think this is that good. I like how it feels and looks on the skin when you first put it on, but I find it kind of breaks up around my nose area and it kind of bubbles up. So I don't love that about it. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer, and I also have the coinciding foundation, but I don't really wear the foundation anymore. I find that it's so mattifying, and I always have to mix it with something else because it has serious flashback. But this one I use as my full coverage option, and this is a really good concealer, you guys. It's very, very full coverage, and I love this a lot more than the Tarte Shape Tape, so this one is really, really good. Again, Urban Decay concealers are very expensive. I do have the, I do still have the Urban Decay Naked Skin in my collection, and I still use it. But isn't it crazy how people fall out of love with certain concealers? Like, it's still good, but it's not like, oh my god, it's my favorite. I think I definitely love the Tarte one more. But this one is really good. It's really full coverage. So those are the only two Urban Decay ones. But yeah, that's it for concealers. Now let's just talk about face powder super quick. I think I have to mention this one first. Well, the one is definitely my all-time favorite setting powder ever, and I used it the entire year. It's my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder. It's so damn expensive, but it's so freaking beautiful on the skin. It's so silky smooth, and this one's in the shade 2, I believe. The shade completely wore off the back because that's how much I've used it, and this is how much I've used of it. Isn't that crazy how much I've used of this freaking thing? If you could see. But it's on its last legs, and I feel like every time I use it now, it kind of is not the same. But I love it so much, and I will use it up, or I will cherish this amount that I have of this for as long as I can. But it really is a beautiful setting powder. It's just so silky and so beautiful on the skin, so I just love this so much. But I probably won't repurchase it because it's so freaking expensive. Maybe I'll repurchase it at some point in like February when I get my tax return. But it really is stunning on the skin. But I think my new favorite high-end setting powder is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade 1 Fair. Sorry, your girl's getting thirsty talking this much, but we're almost done. This is a beautiful, beautiful setting powder. So many people rave about this powder, but I feel like is a dupe for this powder. It literally feels the same. It has a little bit more coverage than the Giorgio Armani, which is funny because this is a powder foundation and this is lighter coverage than this. But I find that this makes your skin so silky, smooth, and it feels so amazing, and it just is so weightless on the skin, and I love this. I fell in love with this powder the past month that I've been using it, which is kind of cheating, but I love it. I've been using it almost every single day. I've been forcing myself to use other powders this past week, but basically throughout the whole month of December, ever since I got the powder, this was the only powder I was using. I love it so much. It's so good. This is definitely the star of the show that I tried from Charlotte Tilbury besides the Pillow Talk lipstick. This is so good. Do I want to talk about any other powders? I'm just going to talk about, because these are the only other powders I really use, and I definitely want to talk about this guy because I used this throughout the whole time that I purchased it. This is the only under eye setting powder I've been using ever since I used up the e.l.f. HD setting powder, which is also a really, really good affordable option. But the ColourPop No Filter setting powder is a really, really good under eye setting powder, which is funny because I love using this for setting my eye primer. It makes it look beautiful and flawless, and it makes it look like so just so flawless. Like, I don't know what else to, like, airbrush, basically. It looks so beautiful on the eyes. I don't love it on my face, but I really like it for setting my concealer. So I love using it under my eyes. It's just an easy powder to use, and it takes like 2 seconds to set my under eyes with this. And I actually really love using it that way, but I don't love using it on my face. And then my favorite, like, lightweight everyday setting powder this year was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus pressed powder in the shade Warm Light. This one definitely, it's just so natural and beautiful on the skin, and it just is a dupe for the MAC Mille Skin Finish in the shade Medium, and it does have that same baked formula, but it's so lightweight on the skin, and I love using this with the Physicians Formula foundation and all my like lighter weight foundations because this is a very lightweight powder, so I don't like using it for something that has to last all day. My favorite like all day setting powder is the NYX HD finishing powder, and this one's the translucent one. This one is very weightless on the skin as well and always makes your skin look beautiful. So this is my favorite for like my more full coverage foundations, and it's just a beautiful setting powder for dry skin because it's very weightless. I'm just going to talk about all my setting powders because honestly I love all of these and they're all like great options for my skin. So I also want to talk about the Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth. Why is my nose so itchy now? Set and Smooth finishing powder, pressed powder in the shade 110 Porcelain. This is also a beautiful setting powder, and I use this for when I use the Maybelline Fit Me foundation and also a bunch of my other foundations. And this is a beautiful lightweight pressed powder as well for my dry skin. And I think that's pretty much it, you guys. I think that is everything for the rest of my face products. I didn't really talk about eye primers. The only eye primer I pretty much used throughout the entire year is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eye primer and the Photo Focus and the what's the other one? Watch the other one. The Milani one. I don't know if I talked about either of these in my eye products video. I probably did. I probably did talk about both of these, but the NYX Glitter Primer is amazing. Glittle. And the Milani I just use every single day. So yeah, that's it, you guys. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. I already did the outro in my lip products video for I hope you enjoyed my best in beauty. But I hope you guys enjoyed all of the face products that I mentioned with you guys. And please leave me in the comment section below what your favorite foundation was this year, your favorite concealer, and your favorite setting powder, and your favorite primer. I really would love to know. No one does that. Please do it. Like, I really want to know because I want to know if you guys have tried these products and if you enjoy them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. I'm hoping the next video after these videos are over, I'm going to be posting an updated makeup collection because I have been organizing my makeup the past few days in my Alex drawers, and it's been so much fun to actually be able to store my makeup like this. So this is a little preview of the containers that I've gotten, and that's how I've been storing my foundations, and then my concealers are in like this little bin thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I love you guys. Bye! Before I go, I forgot to talk about 2 setting sprays really quick, so I might as well mention them right now. So my most used setting spray this year was the NYX Dewy Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray. I think I've purchased about 4 of these. I did also love the NYX Primer Spray, but I don't have it in my collection right now. I actually haven't been using a primer spray for a little while. I need to go out and get the primer spray because that's definitely one of my favorite products this year. I don't know why I don't have it because I've just been using regular moisturizing primers when I apply my primer, but this was definitely my most used, and I really love this. I wouldn't say it makes my makeup last all day, but I do really love how it makes my skin look since I have dry skin, and it makes it look dewy and smooth and fresh. And then the other one is the Too Faced Hangover RX 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. I actually used up this entire bottle already, which is crazy because Chip just sent this to me with a little beauty blender set like a few weeks ago, and I already used this entire tube. So I guess there wasn't too much product in here, but I was using it as a primer spray and also a setting spray, and I really liked it. So this was actually really good too. My other favorite setting spray this year was the Milani Make It Last setting spray, which I also need to go repurchase. So I need to repurchase that and the primer spray. I'm like, oh, I don't need to go to the drugstore and get anything, but I need a new brow gel, I need a new primer spray, and I need a new setting spray. So I wasn't going to get a new setting spray until I use this one up again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I forgot to mention those. So yeah, now for real. Bye.